What is up YouTube? My name is Alta and welcome back to my channel, The Indian Algo. So in today's video, I'll be discussing about Wyckoff once again. So this is the third part of our Wyckoff series, and in this video, I'll be discussing how we can use the higher time frames. The time frames that you guys must have never used. Monthly time frame, weekly time frame, daily time frame, to understand Wyckoff on these candlesticks and how the institutional structure works in understanding the directional bias for the higher time frame. So let's say this is your 5 minute time frame. Okay, let's say this is a 5 minute time frame. You see this, you see a liquidity hunt, there is an imbalance above, right? There is a void above, so you expect that the prices will go higher, right? You expect that the price will go higher just because there was a liquidity hunt, and that's what a lot of traders do. But what if you can apply the same logic on the higher time frames? Monday, sorry, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day. Never looked at it this way, right? Because this because this brings a lot of clarity to the chart where the prices are going. If I go to the monthly time frame of this particular chart, all right, this particular chart clearly, okay. Also, first again, once again, guys, if I tell you, all the things that I'm going to discuss in this video is respectively for swing trading. Okay, so you can definitely use it for intraday as well, but I don't usually go to monthly time frames to analyze my intraday trades. I simply stick to daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. But to trade swings, it becomes a little important for us to understand the monthly time frame as well. I'll try to keep this video below 15 minutes, guys, so I'll rush a little bit in this. And this is where, if you see very clearly, we need to identify liquidity. Okay, we need to identify liquidity. So now, how institutional structure works? Institutional structure simply hunts liquidity and fills the imbalance. This is how an institutional structure works. This is not the basic market structure, this is not the normal market structure. This is an institutional market structure. So it simply hunts liquidity and moves higher. So if you see here, look at these two look at this candle. All right, look at this candle. This candle hunts this low, and this low hunts liquidity, now is moving higher to hunt this liquidity. All right, so if the prices sustains above this, it will go higher. However, if it reverses back, then the price will hunt this liquidity, this liquidity, this liquidity, and fill the imbalance right here, so the price could do that. And this is where, guys, now you can relate. This is where you need to understand the distribution. So as of now, you are trying to identify the accumulations, but guys, understand this is monthly time frame. So you know that on monthly time frame, the prices are heading towards this area. So you can easily go in a swing here. At 4308, we can look for the prices to go till 4740. That's a lot. But how to time the entries is a question. But just know that we know that there is a lot of liquidity lying just above this. I hope the concepts of liquidity are pretty much aware to you guys, right? If not, then I'll definitely try to make another video on that particular topic. But try to understand this. We are only trying to identify liquidity hunts, imbalances, and liquidity where the price could go. So if you see, we have a lot of imbalance around this area. The price already hunted all these lows. Okay, the price already hunted all these lows, and it's now heading higher. Now is the time we need to identify the accumulation phase. Okay, so I go to the daily time frame. And if I see the trend, so once again, if I see the trend here, the trend is very clearly an uptrend, right? The trend is very clearly an uptrend because this new high has been created, all these lows are taken out, and the imbalance right here has not filled yet. So if the prices comes back here, if you remember where we are supposed to look for trades, we will look for an accumulation around this area and long this trade till this particular high. So this will be your one good swing right here. All right, this will be your one good swing right here. So if you try to identify things here, just see this. This is how the prices move, right? Moves higher, creates a new high like this, comes back to this order block, origin, whatever you call it, Look at these lows that were hunted by this down move. The price has liquidity above it. Look at the accumulation the price does. If you haven't watched my video on accumulation, guys, you should move back to the part 1 and part 2. It makes no sense if I just go on and try to make you understand the accumulation phase. Here it's the same thing. It's the same thing. We're just trying to focus on liquidity hunts and filling of imbalances. That's it. So now if I go to our better, let's say any chart, okay, let's say any chart, say Shri Ram City Union, and if I go from monthly time frame, okay, if I go from monthly time frame, look at the amount of liquidity the prices have around these areas, and the prices clearly hunt that liquidity. There is still 6 days left for this candle to close. All right, now let's go to weekly time frame and try to identify this thing. All right, so where are we supposed to start looking for longs? First of all, we hunt these highs, so we are what, we are bullish bias in this, and this is where the prices are supposed to come on daily time frame sorry, on daily time frame, and we are supposed to look for accumulation, right? We are supposed to look for some sort of accumulation on lower time frames. If we don't get, we'll simply leave it. The price then creates a new high, and this is where the area of reaccumulation starts taking place. Alright, so you are supposed to now take or understand these things. Let's go to weekly time frame and try to understand why the prices should go higher from here. First of all, look at the imbalance around these areas. Look at the imbalance around these areas. Alright, the price has a lot of imbalance that was supposed to be filled, and these highs clearly has a lot of liquidity. So what are you supposed to identify on weekly time frame is imbalance created by the market, some liquidity hunt, reaccumulation or accumulation on, let's say, 1 hour, 4 hour or daily time frame, and then longs. All right, this is what you're supposed to identify. So I'll try to see if we can identify these things here. All right, so we have a lot of void here, right? We have a lot of imbalance around this area. We have liquidity hunt around this area. Okay, let's see if there was any sort of accumulation in this phase. Okay, if there was any sort of accumulation, we could have simply entered those trades. All right, I wouldn't it would be a little controversial if we simply treat this as your reaccumulation, but if you see this, let's see what the price does. This is your down candle, right? This is your down candle. Remember the order block, guys. Remember the order block. This is your down candle, and then we have an up candle that confirms the move. Also, we have the structure break because of this thing right here. All right, and this was the liquidity hunt on weekly time frame. As we just saw, we had an imbalance right there, and okay, so a little bit, just by a little bit, the price then touched this 50%. However, we could have entered any of the trades around this area. This is a very clear, nice contraction around this area. We could have simply entered this trade. So this is what you're supposed to focus on. If you can identify Wyckoff, that's really good. If you can identify Wyckoff, that's really good, because eventually there was some sort of Wyckoff around this area, to be honest. If you can identify your Wyckoff around this area, it's still fine. It's still fine, because this gives you a confirmation that a lot of liquidity is hunted, and the prices can now move higher. If you see, we had a nice accumulation around these areas. Okay, equal lows, spring around these areas, price breaks above. This is where the last point of supply is. Price comes here, reaccumulates a little bit, moves higher, spikes up. This is your build up. Okay, so reaccumulation, accumulation, reaccumulation, and the price moves higher. Now what is the reason for the prices to move higher is this. All right, let's go to a different chart. I know I'm taking all of the random charts, so I'll remove all of this. Let's go to weekly time frame, and let's see if there was any liquidity hunt. So I can clearly see a liquidity hunt around this area. Okay, there is some sort of liquidity hunt around this area. There's imbalance created by the market. Once again, there was liquidity hunt and there was imbalance created by the same move around this area. So if I try to understand the accumulation phases here, it will obviously take some time, but yes, there is something really good developing up, right? If you see here, it's very clearly, if I draw any simple range around this area, okay, the price developed much better inside this range. Okay, there was a lot of development around this area. Now the prices still have liquidity above this, so if this turns out to be a reaccumulation, guys, we can still enter this trade. We can still enter this trade and take out these highs, because if you see, it's a reaccumulation everywhere. It's an accumulation, it's an accumulation around here, accumulation, accumulation, reaccumulation, whatever you call it, reaccumulation, reaccumulation, and the price can still move higher. All right, so this is very important. It's again an accumulation phase, so it's a complete uptrend market. So if it's a complete uptrend market, all you have to do is identify this area of pause, okay, and let the price create an accumulation and then enter this trade. Orient Electric Limited, keep an eye on this, guys. Now it is also very important to understand this. See, we already judged the liquidity hunt, right? And this is where the prices are taking support at the LPS. So we could have surely entered somewhere here. Now, if you see, there is some sort of supply, so it will definitely act as a little resistance. But once it gets taken out and the price starts reaccumulating, I would try to enter this trade around these areas when it's trying to break out, and then I'll make sure that I exit if the stop. I'll exit around this area. I'll keep a better stop loss, bigger stop loss, and I'll target 1:2, 1:3, 1:4, unless and until the price doesn't really turn back on me. So it is very important, guys. So I'm this complete video is for your swing. I hope you understood a lot better about what I'm trying to make you understand here. Is very simple. Identify weekly time frame liquidity. Weekly time frame liquidity. Understand the weekly time frame highs. Understand weekly time frame equal highs. Wait for the price to create imbalance on weekly time frame. Wait for the price to hunt that liquidity, and then the prices will move at that particular direction if you identify your accumulation or reaccumulation. So you will be doing what? You will be using the institutional market structure, because see, institutions are only in search of liquidity and imbalance. That's it. Now they will obviously have to create accumulations and reaccumulations to move the prices higher, and that's what we do. That's what Wyckoff suggests us. So we understand that accumulation around these areas, and we know that we have support of this liquidity hunt for the prices to move higher. Alright guys, so I'll end the video right here. I know it's around 13 minutes now. I don't want to keep it very long and keep you bored, guys. Just go ahead, put the work, guys, put in the work. Text me on Instagram, show me your charts. I reply to a lot of people. And alright, this is where I end the video, guys. Also, yes, please make sure you guys hit the like button, share the video as much as you can, and subscribe to the channel. Help me reach 1000 subscribers, guys. It will mean a lot. Thank you so much, and thank you for the lovely comments as well, guys. Also, this is where I end the video, guys. Have a nice day.